The Indiana Fever have not one, but two new point guards. We all know about Odyssey Sims, but now the Indiana Fever have signed guard Kyra Lambert to the team. But who is Kyra Lambert?
Homestand, but before practice, they added to the roster yet again, and no surprise, it came at the point guard position, the place where they have a gaping hole at the moment due to injuries. Kyra Lambert, the latest member of the Indiana Fever, she will wear number 15 and presumably here soon make her WNBA debut.
Kyra Lambert just landed, but she's already in the spotlight, though not for her game, but for the way she lit up when talking about Caitlin Clark on live TV. And believe me, she didn't hold back at all. When a brand new teammate throws out that kind of praise, you know there's something deeper behind it. The real question is, why say it now? So, the Indiana Fever decided they weren't going to sit around waiting for Clark to heal. Instead, they acted. And in this case, acting meant pulling Kyra Lambert straight from Europe on a 7-day deal and tossing her right into the mix. If you've been following the Fever's season, you already know without Clark it hasn't been fun basketball. It's been more of a loyalty test. Injuries to Sydney Coulson and Ari McDonald left their guard lineup looking thinner than WNBA officiating. Consistency. That's when Lambert stepped onto the stage.
Debut. She spent the entirety of her basketball career professionally playing overseas, most recently over in Greece, played several years at Duke, finished up at the University of Texas, so there's some connection.
So who is Kyra Lambert anyway? Good question, because the WNBA doesn't exactly hype up new signings. This isn't one of those names casual fans instantly recognize. Before this move, unless you followed European women's leagues or were connected to Duke or Texas hoops, Lambert was probably nowhere on your radar.
But today, the Indiana Fever have signed Kyra Lambert, which not many people, including myself, know who she is. When you look at her stats, it looks like, oh my God, the Indiana Fever have taken note from the Minnesota Lynx. They have taken note from the Golden State Valkyries. They've taken note from the Phoenix Mercury, all these teams that have brought over players from Europe. So many are thinking, finally, the Indiana Fever have taken note and brought in a EuroLeague player. Only Kyra Lambert actually isn't from Europe. I did look her up over on the ESPN app, and it looks like she went to school at Duke and at Texas. She was a Longhorn. And according to ESPN, she averaged 6.8 points, 3.2.
But now she should be. Not only because she's filling a roster hole, but because her first real WNBA spotlight wasn't about just being thankful to be there. Instead, she made it clear. Caitlin Clark is the center of the whole Fever universe. And honestly, she's not lying. Let's rewind. Lambert's resume is serious. She's been grinding overseas, really grinding. France, Greece. She's played in more European gyms than most Americans have seen landmarks. Just last season in Greece, she put up 15 points a night, shot 42% from deep, won a championship, and was even named Europe's Guard of the Year. Not bad for someone most fans couldn't pick out of a lineup. In college, she started at Duke, finished at Texas, and even fought through ACL injuries that would have ended plenty of careers. That's why when she says she trusted the process, it's not just a media line, it's her truth. But here's the twist. She hasn't even played a Fever game yet, hasn't put on the number 15 jersey, and already she's calling Clark the heartbeat of everything. Some might shrug and say, of course she'll praise Clark, she's the star. But Lambert didn't just toss out a polite, she's great. She went all in. Live cameras rolling. And Lambert basically made it clear. Without Clark, the WNBA feels off. That's not just respect. That's an open admission that the league misses Clark. And Lambert's no fool. She knows the Fever's buzz right now. Rides on Clark. She even admitted she's been studying the WNBA for years, calling it the best basketball in the world. Translation? She's been tracking the stars, and Clark's been right at the top. Context matters. Clark's been sidelined for weeks with that groin injury, and ratings dropped like a crashing stock. That Fever Sky matchup that used to guarantee numbers tanked to the lowest since Clark joined the league. No spin fixes that. So when Lambert hypes Clark, it's not only showing respect, it's giving the league exactly what it needs, keeping Clark's name alive. And if you think that's just luck, you probably also believe WNBA refs are fair. Lambert's timing is smart. On a 7-day deal, you need to impress teammates, sure, but you also need to win fans missing their star. The easiest way, talk about their star. That's PR 101. But here's the thing, it didn't sound fake. That's what makes it work.
Coming your way, and that you'd have a chance to play on a team that might need you to play right away.
Yeah, no, I was super excited, It's a blessing, having the journey that I've had, and just, remaining faithful, trusting God, and doing the work, and just to see it all come back around. And
She also spoke about how grateful she is to be here, how the Fever welcomed her, and how her game fits their fast-paced, pressure-heavy style. And she's right. Without Clark, the Fever have had to lean on that high-speed attack just to stay in games. Lambert's quickness, defense, and solid three-point shot actually fit perfectly. And her praise for Clark doesn't take away from her, it adds to her. Because what she's really saying is, when Clark returns, we'll be even more dangerous, and I can add to that. That's the kind of message that can turn a short contract into something longer. Of course, the bigger story is when Clark will finally be back. Lambert didn't spill any secrets, but if you've been paying attention, Clark's already back at practice. The whispers point to mid-August, between the 17th and 20th. That's about 2 weeks from when Lambert signed, which means if she sticks, she could share the floor when Clark returns. And if you think Fever games draw good numbers now, just wait until that return.
Kelsey talked about culture and character with this team as they welcome all these new players in this season. Your first impressions on day one here, what that means, what that feels like.
I mean, this is a first-class organization. Everybody has been so welcoming, so nice, so kind, and just everybody is here helping each other. Just, the goal is to win. The goal is, to get another championship. So I'm really excited to be here, and I've definitely felt the love getting here, just two nights ago. So.
How do you take in all the information of new plays, new teammates, tendencies, all that in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of the job. You study just like people study in school. You study the playbook, you watch film, you do your due diligence as far as, who you know, knowing your personnel. So, again, just doing the work.
Do you have any familiarity with players on the team now, your new teammates, or is this all everybody new?
It's pretty much new. I mean, I've played against a couple of the players on the team from
Lambert also highlighted something else, team culture and character. Kelsey Mitchell's been stressing this all year with all the lineup shuffles. And it's not just empty talk. The Fever are really trying to build a group that doesn't collapse when one player's out, even if that player is Caitlin Clark. They're not undefeated without her, sure, but they're not falling apart either. Having a newcomer like Lambert buy in right away matters. You also have to love her subtle hints during the interview. She didn't call anyone out, but you could tell she knows the league chatter about the physical play, about targeting certain stars, and about the refs' inconsistency. Without spelling it out, she showed she's ready to bring toughness and protect her team. That's exactly the kind of attitude Fever fans love, especially after watching Clark take cheap hits this season with hardly a whistle.
What's this opportunity in the W mean, given all that you've worked to get to this point?
Yeah. I mean, it means everything, to, again, just remain faithful and trust the process. It speaks to resiliency, it speaks to faith.
And let's be real. If Lambert plays the way she talks, fans will love her quick. Fever supporters have been waiting for another player to rally around while Clark's been out. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell's carried a heavy load, and Nalissa Smith has been solid, but having a new face with bold confidence only helps, especially one already planting the "just wait till Clark's back" message.
Kelsey Mitchell's been carrying a huge load, and Nalissa Smith's been doing her thing, but having a fresh face with a confident attitude doesn't hurt, especially one who's already planting the "just wait till Caitlin's back" seed.
I'm really excited to be here.
What's your familiarity, if anything, with this team, with staff, with how they want to run things?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the W for years. I mean, it's the best basketball in the world, so, I've been watching and I've been studying, and, to be able to watch it and see it from, a professional, point of view has, just helped the transition, and the girls and the organization have been great in welcoming me here, and just getting me up to speed quickly, so I'm really excited to join the team.
How does your game kind of fit in with their system and vice versa?
I mean, I think it fits in perfectly as far as, running and gunning, getting the ball out quick, pressuring on defense, really bringing intensity and physicality.
So as you're recovering from the ACL injuries that you went through in college, is this the dream vision for you coming through that, or did that kind of seem far-fetched?
No, it never seemed far-fetched. I mean, I just, did the work. I trusted the process.
Here's where it gets interesting. Lambert's deal might not just be about covering for injuries. This could also be the Fever testing another piece for a playoff run. Yes, playoffs. And before you roll your eyes, remember in the WNBA format, you don't need to be dominant, just better than a few others. And with Clark's comeback near, they might actually have the weapons to make some noise.
Stephanie White also credited Breon January, who knows people everywhere, including overseas, for recommendations and using their contacts to go find and hear about and look into players that could benefit them. Because right now, it's slim pickings, ultimately, right? You're dealing with players that are not under contract with any of the 13 teams. You're going out and signing free agents. It was Ari McDonald. Now she's out for the season. It was Odyssey Sims. Then they added more here with Kyra Lambert signed to a 7-day hardship contract going into Friday's game against the Washington Mystics. So now it's the same old thing like they've had to do several times already this season. Go find a get her here. Then see what kind of quick study she can become and see how quickly she can integrate within the flow of things, not being disruptful, but instead maybe be an asset, give you 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need.
The bigger question is, will Lambert still be here when that time comes? That depends on two things, how she performs in the next games and how the chemistry feels. Because if she proves she's more than just a temporary fill-in, the Fever might want to keep her. And by embracing the role of Clark's hype woman, she's already won the PR side. The WNBA is great at selective promotion. When Caitlin Clark's in the picture, the league doesn't just market her, they build whole storylines around her. So when Lambert jumps in and throws compliments her way, you can bet the league's media team is already planning clips, captions, and highlight reels. But Lambert's timing is smart. This isn't just flattery for show. She's connecting herself to Clark's brand. It's marketing by association. Praise the most popular player, and suddenly you're part of the discussion. On a 7-day deal, being in that conversation is survival. Compare it with other Fever teammates. Mitchell and Smith praised Clark too, but in balanced ways. Lambert? She went all in. That's the difference between someone secure for the season and someone who knows every interview counts. And it worked, because it didn't feel forced. She seemed genuinely excited to play with Clark, whether because of Clark's passing or because of the open shots she'll get from Clark's gravity. Likely both. The WNBA benefits from this too. Clark's injury hasn't only slowed the Fever, it's cooled the whole league. Sure, Angel Reese has her following, and Aja Wilson's still dominant, but Clark brings in a crossover audience. So every time Lambert mentions her, fans stay tuned in. It also sets up a perfect storyline. Clark's first game back, Lambert on the floor, she drains a couple threes off Clark's assists, and the broadcasters have their moment ready. Remember when Lambert said Clark was a blessing on her first day? Now you see it. Instant feel-good TV. But let's stay grounded. This is pro sports. Praise means nothing without production. If Lambert can't defend, run the pace, and hit shots when Clark draws doubles, then her words vanish quick. The Fever need results. To her credit, Lambert seems to understand that. She's not acting like she's here for stardom. She's talking about fitting the system, pressing, defending, running. That's exactly what a short-term guard needs to say. And it matters even more because Clark's second year hasn't been the easy ride some imagined. She's faced hard fouls, shaky refereeing, and now the groin issue. So Lambert hyping her up isn't just about praising a superstar. It's about backing someone who's had to fight through setbacks, something Lambert knows all too well. For Fever fans, the takeaway is simple. You've got a new player who wants to belong, who wants to win, and who's made it clear she's excited to share the court with Clark. Whether she lasts past her contract is still a question. But right now, she's saying all the right things and bringing the right energy. And if you're the league, you're hoping more players follow her lead. Because when your top star's out, keeping her name alive is the only way to keep the spotlight warm. Lambert just did her part. Now it's up to the Fever and the WNBA to turn that into something real when Clark's back.